Hey everybody, Ozark here. So I want to talk about really quick today about, by the way, on this channel I cover, culture, the American people, the Western world specifically, and all that, the Western people, everything, and the issues that tend to affect us, and how they will directly affect us or not affect us, and how the political parties, especially in the establishment pundits, etc., address it, or more specifically, do not address it. That's what today is about. Um, the of course, the during the Super Bowl, a Christian group, specifically that runs Hobby Lobby, they have taken up for more politically conservative causes in the past, culturally, socially conservative causes in the past. They have been lambasted by AOC, saying that Jesus would not fund the Super Bowl ad. Now, specifically though, the ad, she says that it does not excuse fascism. As you can see here, she said that Jesus would not fund something that would make fascism look benign, the way that she put it. But specifically, let's look at the imagery that it shows in here, because this is a really good point here. As AOC has done, as the media will still demonize this group and take all their rights away, as the establishment, the uniparty government, both parties, one party actively doing it, the other, if not actively doing it, working, playing their game, playing the anti Western game, and yes, the anti white game. There's no question the intersectionality that completely rules the political left right now is completely against us. Let's look at how this supposedly conservative Christian group chooses to, portray things in their ad here with their images. It's kind of a just love each other message, but again, let's look at how they use that message. So you've got, of course, this is, oh, surely this is how it goes down in real life, right? Well, no, it's been happening a lot lately, but definitely not as they portray. You've got the angry white woman yelling at the poor, helpless, reserved minority passengers and everything. And this has a lot of videos going viral of these things happening at fast food joints lately. People getting mad and tearing the place apart. The people have not been white though, as you see, as the supposed conservative Christian group portrays here, it's the angry white male being held back by the calm, reserved black guy. Just trying to keep him under control as he's yelling at the poor minority people behind the counter, that he's ruthlessly, villainously attacking. So what? You're portraying the evil white Western masculinity here, as this is the bad guy. No, but you know why? Because you're doing it because it's what's politically and culturally acceptable. You're doing it because, again, you're not speaking up for you. Not only are you not speaking up for your people, which is a sin and evil, but you're playing their game of going against your people. And as a final point to nail it home here, this is what I'll say. Just straight up biblically speaking, doctrinally speaking, the ultimate authority on all of it. Simon the Zealot never had to repent for being a zealot for his own people, for taking up for his own people. He followed into a different profession, a ministry. The fishermen never had to repent of being fishermen and making an honest living and selling to a fair wage to the people and feeding and taking care of their people. A man that doesn't provide for his own, and especially his household, is worse than an infidel. It's worse than someone who has no faith, it says. But Matthew, the publican, in other words, he was not just a tax collector, he was specifically a tax collector that was ripping off his own people because the people were forced by Rome, had no choice but to pay taxes. He was helping an outside people against his own people. And again, this goes for any nation, for any people. There was the church at Corinth, the church of the Galatians, the Celts, the Greeks. When Paul wrote to Corinth, he specifically said, I'm addressing you by logic because you're Greeks, and this is your culture, and this is your people. And again, you're supposed to stand up for and with your own people. Not just avoid speaking up for them when they're under attack, when they're literally under foreign invasion in their own nations. You should speak up for them, but then especially don't participate in the game against them, like this ad is doing here. Because as you can see, clearly the people that hate you are still going to hate you and go with the politically loaded terminology that they know is going to be used against you. Not only don't cater to them, but actually speak up for your own people. Blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord. A nation is a specific people group and the land they occupied. We're the descendants of the pioneers and the peoples of Europe that came here and built and created a nation. That is our ethno group. That is who we are as a people, a Western people of the Western nation and the Western world. And again, this is how they choose to portray it. And you wonder why young Western men are going to turn around and walk out of a church when they see this garbage. When they see you trying to emulate a rock concert from the very people and organizations that are seeking to destroy our people. And culturally, and numerically, and ethnically destroy and go after us. Speak up for your people. Sure, there's the salvation of the individual. There's the promise of heritage of families and generations. And then there's also the promise of a nation and a people. All three are important and mandatory in the Bible. And not speaking up for your people, you wonder why we don't have revival amongst our people. This is why. Even if you succeed on the other two, and if you stand up for every social issue and cultural part, you're playing whack-a-mole with the issues, dealing with the root of it, and again, even worse, you're playing their game. Stand up for your people. If you're a Christian, if you're a pastor, look up the Black Robe Regiment during the American Revolution. They stood for their people. Especially when their people were under attack and were fighting for their own liberty. This is Ozark Yeoman. Y'all have a good one.